Hi, my name is Alfonso Umali, and I'm here to discuss the concept of invented places. Invented places are places where authors, artists, and even architects share the same interest in terms of creative thinking. These places are often made out of pure fantasy but resemble a place in the real world. Common to the most successful invented places are theme and story. The theme portrays the big idea. For example, the movies that are in Universal Studios that are being used as attractions. It glues together not only story but the background behind it. An invented place may be themed as an authentic or symbolic recreation of a past time and place. As a person who adheres to movies, especially to the genre of fantasy, Universal Studios and Disneyland comes to mind, for it is the prime invented place which revolves around the people who have a wide imagination. It creates reality out of fantasy in ways that are often symbolic and subliminal, digging deep down into the user's psyche, connecting with cross-cultural archetypal images and multi-generational hardwired memories. It is successful because it adheres to certain principles of sequential experiencing and storytelling, creating an appropriate and meaningful sense of place in which both activities and memories are individually shared. A successful place, like a novel or a movie, engages us actively in an emotional experience orchestrated and organized to communicate purpose and story. Over the years, Imagineers have followed certain principles fundamental to creating a successful place. These principles are concerned with structure and theme, sequence experience, visual communication, and participation.
There is this underground city, and I wonder what's down there.
I don't know if you've ever walked through the hallways of a Star Destroyer before.
Well, we're in the inner sanctum of the Disneyland Matterhorn. Nobody ever gets the chance to see us, only a special few.
The first of these principles is structure and theme. Structure in this context is about planning organization. It's about flow and gestalt. People like simple logical flow plans. It's easier to follow a sequence of events, easier to orient, and makes people follow more comfortable and more in control. The structure should reflect the theme. A movie studio theme will have a grid layout. An adventure theme will be looping and circuitous. A discovery theme may be molecular in structure and branching. In many cultures, the shape of a place has additional meaning. For some, the mandala, or circle, is a key organizing shape, reflecting fundamental spiritual ideologies and primordial truths. It is universally symbolic, representing both the hero's journey of leaving and returning home, and the circular nature of life. The circle is a safe, comfortable shape, reinforcing harmony and unity. Disneyland is circular with a certain central hub and radiating spokes or paths taking guests on circular looping journeys into different lands and stories one at a time. The second principle is sequential experience. The experience unfolds emotionally in a physical sequence. In movie making, storyboarding of sequential images is used linearly to describe a single point of view of action and settings. In a place-making story, sequences are experienced in multiple ways from different directions and different points of views. There may not be a classical beginning, middle, and end or plot points. It is interactive story. All the more reason to keep it simple, clear, and consistent. In a spatial sequence, like a movie, gradual transitions, sudden changes, or new perspectives control the narrative. Each creates a different emotional response in a spatial narrative. Visual communication is the third key principle. The full meaning or story of a place is only apparent if it can be read or if it's visually legible. Without that legibility, the place may be interpreted inappropriately and sometimes not at all. The challenge for Invented Places is to make the place legible for the audience by communicating through both subtle and enhanced sights and sounds. It involves the careful use of scale, color, texture, and detail in ways that make the story self-evident and credible. It may be the reproduction of an authentic national pavilion like Japan at Epcot, or an African village in Disney's Animal Kingdom, or interpreting an animated tale like Snow White or Toy Story. Even when the solution involves tricks of scale change or forced perspective, or there is a highly theatrical abstract presentation of facades or landscaping, the creative process and story considerations are the same. The last key principle is participation. Participation in a story usually takes place via characters and action. They are the connecting link that allows us to identify with our own world experiences. They make the stories accessible. In story places, people also participate through sound and smell as well as sight. These other senses are extremely potent stimuli of memory. If any sensory input is inconsistent, the play suffers. Imagine Disneyland smelling of fish and the music being techno-rap. It just doesn't work. This kind of participation can be the difference between success and failure. At Disneyland and in Las Vegas, the music is as carefully choreographed as the flow of spaces. Music is there to provide the right ambience and emotional emphasis at just the right moment and place, in the same way as a movie score. In summary, all places are to some degree invented, but the successful ones are characterized by planning, building design, and program that is clearly integrated with story. Story makes places more meaningful and more accessible. Story is both an individual and a shared experience. It's what connects us as human beings and defines our cultures.